I would have lost the farm if I didn't do this. If you are in your 60s or 70s and you are still running the farm operation, but have not yet had the hard conversations about the future, then this video is for you. You may think you have time, you may think it'll work itself out, but we've seen too many operations fall apart over the years because these conversations were never had. You're watching this video right now because deep down, you know the clock is ticking. Inside of today's video, we're gonna walk through what will happen if you continue to avoid having these tough conversations, and what will actually change if you step up and lead your family through them. Today's video is about succession, it's about legacy, but most importantly, it's about protecting your family. Now, the farmers who refuse to face these tough conversations with their kids when they need to have conversations around succession planning or legacy planning, the ones who avoid them, those operations are the ones that fail. Maybe not while you are leading the operation, but for the next generation or even the generation after that, it's a guarantee at this point. But what's even worse than this is that over that time frame, your inability to have these conversations is going to ruin relationships inside of your family. And this is going to happen between brothers, sisters, cousins, and ultimately everyone who is supposed to be family first inside of the family farm operation. Now, getting straight to it, the number one thing that kills family farm operations today isn't markets or weather or banks. To be honest, it's resentment. Because as a leader inside of the operation, when you avoid to have these tough conversations and really tell your kids what the overall game plan is for the next generation or when they come back and take over the operation, your avoidance of these conversations, the resentment is going to continue to build and build and build. And over the years, it is going to get to a maximum level that you want to avoid at all costs. Because when you hit this level, you are going to see resentment not only towards you as the leader inside of the operation, but also too between your kids, because nobody knows what is going to happen, which means stories start for every single person. We have opinions, we have emotions, we let the stories run wild, and all of a sudden this resentment gets to a maximum level where everybody is just fighting, arguing, and this is the level that you do not want to get to. And this is also what you can avoid by leading your family and having these tough conversations much sooner in your lifetime. Over the years, we've worked with hundreds of family farm operations from across the country, and a shocking number have come into legacy farmer because they're at a stage in their life where mom or dad maybe passed away, unfortunately, but they never had a plan in place on how assets were to be distributed between their kids or things like that. Now your son or daughter, who's supposed to be leading the operation and in control of the operation, is now trying to navigate these tough conversations between how to get access to assets, how to use assets as collateral to secure banknotes, how to run day-to-day operations, whose opinion should they be taking, who actually has the legal right to have an opinion inside of the operation. Like, all of these things are going to be massive problems for your kids if you're unwilling to have these tough conversations and get that legacy or succession plan set up while you are alive. Now, the problem with this though too is, like I talked about earlier in the video, that resentment is building. If you don't have a plan in place and you pass away unexpectedly or something like that, and now everything is dumped on your kids, expect the resentment to go 10x even at the level it was when you were alive. Because this is what's going to happen, because now you have all these emotions, people are grieving the loss of a mom or a dad or something like that, and now they're trying to be in business with their brother, sister, or cousins, or whoever that is, and make sure that the multi-million-dollar operation is still successful on a daily basis. That is just a massive burden for anyone to carry here, and this is the type of stuff that you're leaving your kids if you are not leading from the front and making sure you're having these crucial conversations while you are still here with us. But the other problem that we face though too is that a majority of operations today, they're completely centralized. And what I mean by that is, you as the business owner, everything has to run through you. You can't leave the operation for more than a day or two without things starting to break or fall apart, because you've created a centralized operation and trained your entire team to where every decision, every conversation, everything inside of that operation has to flow through you. And this also too is setting up the next generation for failure, because now they're trying to take it over and you have all these different people. Maybe you have one son or daughter that's actually leading the operation, but you have everybody else, the siblings, who care about the return on their assets that they've now inherited from you, and they want to have an opinion. And now you have all these heads colliding every single day, and it just causes this massive chaos. And that is a guaranteed recipe to make sure that your life's work fails at the next generation, because without these clear roles, responsibilities, and how decisions are to be made inside the operation, which is on you to make sure you're setting up inside of your legacy or succession plan, without that type of structure in place, you are setting the kids up for failure. And it's a guarantee that there's going to be massive heartache, massive resentment, and even potentially lawsuits that your kids are going to be in because of your lack of planning. Now, I know this sounds brutal and kind of in your face, but it's meant to be that way, because we continue to have this situation coming up with new customers coming into Legacy Farmer, but it just happens so much throughout the industry. And if we really want to fight to preserve the lifestyle that we all care about inside of the ag industry. These conversations, they need to be had. The video I'm shooting today needs to go out on the internet because people need to get off of their asses and start leading from the front and having these crucial conversations, because the pain and the heartache and the resentment and all the challenges that you're leaving on your kids when you don't do this, it's at a level that you don't even want to imagine. And the thing that you're risking is losing your entire life's work because of your lack of planning and unwillingness to have some hard conversations. And the truth is that more and more family farm operations are going to die every single year because one individual was not willing to have these hard conversations and get an actual legacy or succession plan set up for the next generation. So here's the deal. You've got to start now, not next year or after planting or anything like that, or when you get a break in the season or anything like that, because the longer you kick this can down the road, the more time is going to pass by and the more excuses you're going to have pop into your mind during that time as to why you need to worry about it next year, or this isn't a priority or things like that, because pretty soon we all know life goes by pretty fast. And over the years of talking with people that have been in this situation before, every mom and dad said, yes, we'll get it done this year. And then all of a sudden a decade passes and nothing's been done. And this is the cycle that we see happen over and over again. But as a parent, one thing you need to understand is when you have a son or daughter coming back to the operation and you're trying to sell that opportunity to them, you are doing them a massive disservice if you are making them come back on empty promises. And I'm not trying to talk negatively to you, but it's kind of the reality of what it is, right? You are having them make lifelong decisions and commitments based off of somebody else's promises that are not backed up by any writing, signature, or anything on paper that's showing them exactly what they're going to inherit coming back here. We are setting our kids up for failure when we operate the business that way. And again, it's your responsibility as the leader or business owner inside the family to have that legacy or succession plan set up, but make sure when your son or daughter, whoever's coming back to lead the operation after you're gone, make sure whatever they're getting and when they're getting it is in writing. Do them a service by doing this, and also it's going to give them a level of confidence and certainty in what they're coming back to take over. This is the type of environment that you want to build, because honestly, the only thing I've really experienced in Legacy Farmer is seeing the opposite of this, where no planning, no structure, no organization, no legacy or succession plan was in place at all, and the son or daughter that wants to come back and take over the operation is coming back to take over nothing but massive chaos. So you need to understand the cost of not doing this, because it is far greater than any assets that you have inside of the operation. It is going to impact every part of your family, of your kids, of your grandkids, of their future, and ultimately of your legacy, which your legacy is so much more than just the assets you're passing on, but it's what people think about you and say about you after you're gone, right? And there's so much more meaning in it that way. But the reality is, when you don't have this legacy or succession plan set up, and now your kids are facing lawsuits with each other or just resentful towards each other or whatever, the sad truth here is that now when they think of you, they're going to think about your lack of planning and the situation that they're in now. And ultimately, your legacy is going to be tainted because of this situation here. So make sure that you're doing what's required today to make sure you're setting up the next generation for success. And all the problems that I've talked about inside today's video, this is exactly why we built Legacy Farmer. We give family farm operations the structure they need. We help them get their numbers organized, their business organized, have clear roles and responsibilities for who's doing what inside the operation, who's leading the operation, and that leads them to a place where they can finally get a legacy or estate plan set up because of that foundational structure or organization that we're helping them implement when they first come into Legacy Farmer. Now, if you're ready to stop avoiding this and actually lead your family farm operation, click the link below this video and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, because the reality is you don't get a second chance at this. You either lead now or your family will be cleaning up the mess that you left after you're gone.